Hi, welcome to the 8th week of Consider This, Simplifying the COVID-19 Conversation. I and my co-host, Cody Bidingter, have just loved hosting you this semester, and we hope you can join us this Monday to talk about testing with Liz Ruley from the University of Notre Dame and Paul Hergenrother from the University of Illinois. One of the tutorials I posted gave an overview of the different kinds of SARS-CoV-2 testing. And in this particular tutorial, I want to talk a little bit about antigen testing. I previously recorded one about PCR on wastewater, but all of the individual characteristics of PCR are the same, whether you're testing wastewater or saliva. So the fundamentals of an antigen test are really the same no matter what kind of antigen test that you're looking for. The one that we use on campus is the Sophia antigen test. And you actually take a sample and put it on a little cassette, and then the cassette is read by a machine. These types of tests are called lateral flow tests or rapid diagnostic tests. Or RDTs, and you don't always need to have a machine. Some of them you can see by eye, like for example, a pregnancy test where you can actually see it by eye if it's positive or not. So in all of these tests or lateral flow tests, you have a nitrocellulose strip, and nitrocellulose is really just a kind of paper, and there are specific areas on the paper. You have a test band and a control band shown in pink and blue here. And for the test band, you actually have an antibody that is bound to the nitrocellulose or the paper. And in this case, this antibody recognizes the nucleocapsid protein. You know, for a pregnancy test, the antibody is specific for something else. And in this particular case, it's the nucleocapsid protein that surrounds the RNA particle in SARS-CoV-2. But you could do it against a spike protein. Mostly they do the nucleocapsid because it's expressed at a really high level. In the control band, you have antibodies to a control or a control antigen, something that you actually know. Over here in the green area, you also have antibodies, but they're free. It doesn't have the nucleocapsid there. I just put that so you recognize what it's recognizing. And this antibody is labeled with something that helps make a color change or a fluorescent signal that you can actually measure. And then you also have your antigen, your control antigen, connected to a different fluorescent molecule. And so what happens is you take your sample, in this case is a nasal sample, and then you have a lysing reagent. And so you take that swab and it goes into that lysing reagent and it lyses all the cells and everything there, releasing those viral antigens. So you can see the nucleocapsid antigen here. That sample is then transferred to the nitrocellulose strip, and everything gets put on the strip, and then it starts flowing down the paper. When it gets to this particular area, if you have the antigen that's the antibody specific for it binds, and everything keeps flowing down. And then you can see here the antibody specific for the nucleocapsid captures that antibody antigen combination. So essentially you get this sandwich here. And so now this fluorescent molecule on this antibody is stuck in this test band. Everything keeps flowing, and the control antigen then will bind the antibody that's here in the control band area, and everything keeps flowing down. So I'm showing you what it looks like. These are actually RDTs for malaria because the Sophia antigen test reads it fluorescently in a machine. But you can see on this side here, both of these tests were valid because of the control band worked in each case. This one is positive because the test band showing up is positive. This one is negative. And this is an invalid test because the control band didn't work. So that's in generally how lateral flow assays work and how the antigen tests for SARS-CoV-2 work. So thanks for joining us. I'm really looking forward to it. Bye.